I just feel like right now everything in my life is about the experiment, the process, and when I get into phases where I fall into perfectionism, this is what I need to do. I'm a type of person who overthinks things. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I'm not being all that I could be. I think the good part about personal development content and stuff like that is the fact a lot of people, when they do personal development content, sometimes they see more in themselves if they're doing it for the right reasons, like not out of self-hatred or anything like that. I feel like everyone in their life has like an experimental period, or should have one, because I was thinking about this, about how it is my post-grad era, but I feel like if I didn't slow down at this point of my life, I would be in pilot mode and just kind of doing things without thinking like, okay, is this really right for me? How do I feel about this? And I do think at points in our lives we need times where we slow down and figure ourselves out, so we're not trapped, that we don't feel resentment for where we're at in life. Because the truth is, if you, like, sometimes you just need to do things. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. Like, I literally just decided, okay, I know I'm a person who overthinks, and there's a time for thinking and there's a time for execution, right? I've been struggling with my health this entire time. I feel like struggling with your health puts you in a state where you're grieving, because it's like this whole new way of practicing being yourself. Honestly, I had a thought the other day. I wrote a blog post. Because I always perceived myself as ambitious, I never stopped and thought like, am I actually being ambitious or am I desperate? Because then I thought like, what if being ambitious and being desperate are actually like the same two sides of the... What if ambition and desperation are two sides of the same coin? I thought about this the other day because I think both of them relate to desire. When you are ambitious, you want something very, very badly. When you are desperate, you also want something very, very badly. And for the longest time, I thought I was being ambitious, but I was just kind of being desperate, because I think that ambition without boundaries is desperation. I asked this to my friend the other day, like, do you think that? Because I don't, not necessarily to validate my thoughts, because regardless I'm still gonna have my thoughts, but I'm just curious if anyone else like thought about it that way. And the reason why is because when you're building a life for yourself, right, are you just actively just doing, or do you think about what you're doing? And yes, sometimes you can get into places of like overthinking where you're so wrapped up in your head that you kind of get stuck, which is why I need to have moments like this where okay, that was weird. I need to have moments like this where I'm just talking, where I'm just letting my thoughts flow, because I do think a lot, and with my content I take it so seriously because I don't see it as just content. Like, I see it as an extension of storytelling. I see it as what goes on in my mind and things that I've learned for myself that I wanted to share. This is not going to make sense because this is the most unscripted thing I've ever created, and I want it that way because I know that sometimes you gotta challenge yourself to do things that's outside of your comfort zone. Making videos without like talking points is outside of my comfort zone. That's why I never really liked vlogs, because honestly it's just like word vomit to me, because I am someone who talks a lot. I have a lot of thoughts, and if I don't sit down and work through my thoughts, my bullet points, then I just go off topic. And even I'm just like rambling right now, and I don't know what's the point of me talking right now. It's frustrating because I know I have a lot to say, but I don't know how to articulate what I want to say. So then I try to take the time, and maybe that's why I prefer writing. I prefer it because I can see everything I'm thinking. I can map it out. But with videos, it's like, okay, then I have to prepare. And I saw a video today, and she was like, saying she wants to quit her content creation era and wants to get a job again because she feels like she is not, you know, living up to her potential, which I get is a valid feeling. And it was just interesting to me because she was saying how the hardest part is thinking of the ideas, and the doing takes about 2 hours. But my issue is like the opposite, where I have the ideas, I have things written down, but I don't know necessarily how to execute them sometimes. Or like, because I am a perfectionist, I will scrap an entire video solely because it's not up to my standards. And that's just how I am. Been on a journey of restarting my YouTube since like, okay, I've been on a journey to restart my YouTube since December, right? Well, November I think was my first post, like after Thanksgiving, and mainly because I wanted to see how far I would come after I decided to take a break after, well, not necessarily a break to become a content creator, but a break to really just focus on my health. Because I think about how I want to do big things in the world. I think that's the thing. A lot of us want to do big things in the world, and a lot of us recognizes that we have the potential to do big things in the world. And that's why sometimes we get so frustrated with ourselves, because we know. But on top of that, even though I know that I have like that quality to do that potential, it's also, I know that I will not live up to it if I'm not in the right health condition, if I'm not in the right mindset, and if I'm self-conscious, you know? Because what nobody really talks about is how badly your perception of yourself, besides energy and physically feeling bad about yourself, but your self-perception of when you look at yourself, when you're with yourself, and if you feel uncomfortable in any type of way with yourself, how much it holds you back. So I wanted to address everything I felt that was uncomfortable about me. And funny enough, I do think that November, December, January was like my best content creation time. But then by February, it was like, I feel like February was like a month where it kind of exposed like everything that wasn't working for me. We're almost halfway through March. It's literally, I'm pretty sure today's the 12th. So we're almost halfway through March, and I just feel like I need to start just doing things. That I had enough trial and error, I have enough data now to really push forward. So this is just your reminder that if you feel shitty, if you feel bad about yourself, that it's okay, that as long as you have awareness. Because we all have times where we fail, and honestly, I feel like I failed. I do feel like I failed, but I don't have to view that as a bad thing. Now I have data, and now it's time to go forward. So yeah, anyways, have a good day. Bye.